Sports fans, we are live. Welcome to the Sports Behavior Podcast. I'm your host, OG the Beast. What's shaking, y'all? How y'all feeling today in these comments, man? We had some pre-talk, some pre-episode talk going on. What's today's date? Right after the 4th, 7/5/2022. Dubs in the chat, man. If you here with me, man, what's going on? What's cracking? What's shaking? We got a lot to discuss today. Shout out to those loyals on YouTube that consistently chime in and that are there for the taking, man. I love each and every one of you guys over there, man. You don't understand the love and admiration I got for y'all. You know, whoever's rocking with me for me, man, and just come to tune in, just to rock with your boy OG the Beast, man. I'm always here for y'all. I'm here to stay for y'all. Y'all had some spicy takes up in here going on before we pop this live on. People talking about Kevin Durant. Westside Hoops say, I told you Brogdon would go to the Celtics. Great call. And I told you that was one hell of a pickup if that were to happen. Remember, we talked about that. I said that was sneaky. That was real sneaky right there. And I liked it that. Brogdon makes so much sense for the Boston Celtics, man. We got a guy who could control the tempo, the pace, the flow, a true point guard. And that's something the Celtics was lacking. Today's demise could be part of the reason why they wasn't as successful as a lot of people thought they would be. They got a true point guard in Malcolm Brogdon too, man. You know, a former 50-40-90 guy. I think he could control the pace, control the tempo, and get these guys the ball where they want it in their spots. I love Malcolm Brogdon to the Boston Celtics. It's a great look for him. This season coming up is about to be very, very spicy. It's about to be real sizzling. No doubt about it. Best show out. You could take over First Take, no cap. I appreciate you, man. I wouldn't say that as far as right now. I wouldn't say that just yet. But that's the goal, man. Hopefully somebody will give me an opportunity of a lifetime to do what I love and enjoy doing. You goated. I appreciate you, man. OG says smart better than Brogdon. Get him when you speak to him. I talk to him. You know, I holler at him. Me and him probably go live sometime soon, maybe on TikTok. Follow me over there if you haven't already. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already know what it is over there. But yeah, that's something crazy. What's good, Cameron? What's popping? True Hero, what's going down with you? How you feeling? A lot of y'all, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all stopping through. KD to the Hawks for DeAndre Hunter, John Collins. That would be a great look for the Hawks, man, but I don't see that happening. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if one or two things happen to Kevin Durant. First, he stays with the Brooklyn Nets because it's not a bad situation. They got everything you pretty much need in Brooklyn for him. They got great role players, shooters around him. You got star power with him and Kyrie Irving. I mean, we can't sit here and ignore the fact that they have a solid team placed around them as of right now. Durant to the Master Show. Luka, to me, Durant can play with anybody. Durant can play with pretty much anybody in the league. So him and Luka, it would make perfect sense. But honestly, man, I don't think Kevin Durant is leaving Brooklyn. He's either going to stay in Brooklyn or he's going to go to Golden State. And that's something that I want to talk to you guys about. Because it's us as, listen, let me break something down to y'all. Us as fans, hear me out. Y'all know I like to drop my soliloquies, man. Look, us as fans, Jordan on the 2023 cover athlete. If you haven't seen, yeah, I seen that. Dope. You know I'm going to cop me a copy of the cover. I'll probably hang it right here. But us as fans, me included, we all fall victim to placing blame on certain athletes for decisions that they make because we don't agree with it as viewers. But we never actually put ourselves in the position of the players and say, hey, what does Kevin Durant want? You know, what's his mental like? What's his situation? You know, what does Dwight Howard want? What does LeBron want? You know, what do these guys want? Why does LeBron want to leave Cleveland and go to Miami? What is he looking for? You know, what is his mindset like? during this process. We never evaluate that as fans. We never think about that. Why? Because we don't care. As long as we get LeBron James suited up, we're happy about it. Or as long as we feel like what's right to us is what happens, we're cool with it, right? No loyalty resides in sports whatsoever from either side of the spectrum. Whether you're looking at it from the owner's perspective or you're looking at it from the player's perspective. No loyalty has ever resided in sports. So I don't know why everybody gets so surprised when certain players up and leave and do things that you don't feel is right or is corny for the league or makes things unfair for the league. Let's be honest. Owners never gave a damn about players. Owners never gave a damn about players because if they did, Harrison Barnes wouldn't have had to go through what he went through with Dallas. No, owners don't care about players. And that's just what it's been. You guys want players to be loyal to their team, but honestly, let me ask you a legitimate question. What has loyalty, individual player loyalty, gotten any one of these guys? What has it gotten them? That's an honest question. Dirk is the best power forward. Dirk is one of the best power forwards of all time. But let's say Dirk decides to leave Dallas because Dallas goes on a run prior to 2011 or even after 2011 where they don't win nothing. Could Dirk have potentially been the greatest power forward of all time if he were to, say, pair up with Kobe in 2012 instead of Dwight Howard? What if that's Dirk, Steve Nash, and Kobe? I think that works. Did he leave greatness on the table by staying loyal to his franchise? What about Giannis? Giannis is arguably one championship away from sneaking his ass into the top 10 players of all time. Who you want to boot out, that's another situation. That's another story. But his resume as of right now is on the cusp of top 10. If Giannis was to win another ring, he could probably sneak himself into the top 10. 2 more rings, we're potentially talking a top 5 player of all time now. Right? That's another question. Is Giannis keeping himself away from greatness by staying true to Milwaukee? But let Giannis walk out the door and go to Brooklyn with Kevin Durant. All hell breaks loose. It's unfair, right? But at the end of the day, if he goes to Brooklyn and wins, let's say 3 championships, and now he's a 4-time champion with all his accolades. Let's say he gets 2 out of the 3 finals MVPs. Now he's a 4-time champion with 3 finals MVPs. What discussion are we having about Giannis Antetokounmpo at that point? But instead, he stays in Milwaukee. He stays 10 toes down. He stays true to his game. And what does he get from the fan base? A hand clap, a pat on the back, recognition for that. At the end of the day, does that increase his all-time ranking? Honestly, True Hero says Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard staying 10 toes down in Portland is not going to raise his ranking on the all-time list. Let's keep it a buck. Y'all are not going to say, oh, because Dame spent 17 years in Portland, I'm going to have him ranked at number 25 instead of number 35 because he stayed in Portland. No. What if Kevin Durant doesn't leave OKC? What if him and Russell Westbrook stay in OKC? They never win a goddamn thing. Kevin Durant, year 15, OKC all the way through. 0 championships. Is KD still a top 15 player of all time in your opinion? No. Whether you like it or not, what happened, happened. In 2017, he went to Golden State. They were back-to-back champions with Kevin Durant, and he's a 2-time Finals MVP because of it. That's the reason you have Kevin Durant in your top 15 all time. That doesn't change that changes if he stays in OKC. Kevin Durant chose greatness over loyalty. Don't be surprised if a lot of other players following this newer generation of player movement maintain consistency with that throughout the league and history of the league for years to come after us. Don't be surprised if this is the trend that continues to be followed. Let's be honest with you. Stop buying team jerseys. Buy player jerseys. Look, I'm telling you, Ben, what's popping? Glad to see you in here. Kareem won a ring and dipped. Not even that. He went to the Lakers like 6 years after he won that chip, but it's just a simple fact that there's no loyalty in sports. Wilt Chamberlain wanted out of Philly because of a so-called rumor that he was supposed to be granted 25% of the team in equity. He wanted 25% after he retired. They told him, we never discussed such thing. So he said, I want out. And they traded him to the Lakers. They thought he was washed anyway. He ended up winning the championship with Jerry West. But I'm just saying, think about the landscape of the league. If certain players that you guys deem loyal to their fan base or loyal to their franchise, think about what could have happened to those players if they chose to be unloyal and prioritized greatness over loyalty. What would Dirk's career look like if he joined Kobe in 2012 after he beat Miami, knowing that they got away with one because they caught LeBron slipping? He got him one. What would his career look like if he would have joined with Kobe and they ramble off two of them? And now you talking about a Dirk with 30,000 points, 12,000 rebounds, and 3 NBA titles. That changes everything. Don't y'all understand what I'm saying? Where does Reggie Miller rank on your all-time list? Like, if some of these guys change their situation, their entire career and the perception of who they were as a player changes. Winning has that effect on your career, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all clown Kevin Durant for going to Golden State. Where would his career be had he not? Dame is a moron. You see, this is another case, right? Dame is a moron. Westside Hoops say Dame is a moron for staying with Portland. But let Damian Lillard go play with LeBron. Wins a few championships, help LeBron win a few championships. He go join up with LeBron and Anthony Davis in Los Angeles. Dame is a homie hopper. Dame is a ring chaser now. It's unfair for that to happen. All of the above. Or is it just subjective to who you like as a fan? Because it's somebody you don't like, you maybe say they homie hoppers, they ring chasers, right? Or if you a guy that likes Dame, he goes to L.A. with LeBron and AD, and that's okay to you? It's unfair. Dame needs to choose greatness. Yes. Not just Dame. Everybody needs to choose greatness. Kevin Durant needs to choose greatness. LeBron chose greatness after 7 years in Cleveland, and they didn't give him a second star. They didn't give him a second all-star. He chose greatness. He said, look, I'm trying to be the greatest player of all time, and I can't do it here. So I understand the move. Do I agree with it? Do I like it as a fan? Hell no. None of us should have, because it was unfair. That's why he sat on that podium and said, not one, not two, not three, because he's looking at the dynamic of the league, and he's saying, it's raps. Ain't nobody going to be able to rock with us. That's the whole point. Everyone should choose greatness, but how would it be perceived from the fan bases? Y'all gonna clown them. If Kevin Durant goes back to Golden State, y'all are going to clown him. Y'all are going to clown him, point blank. Oh, he needs Golden State. He this, he that. But let's say he goes back with Steph and they ramble off 2 more titles. Now we talking about Kevin Durant with 27,000 points, 8,000 rebounds, 4-time champion, potentially finals MVP, 3-time finals MVP. Now we're putting him in a different conversation. Do you like it? No. Do you agree with what he did? No. But you can't argue what happened. You have to include those rings and all those stats with Golden State under his resume. So Damian Lillard is more worried about the perception of his name. Oh, I want to be the guy that stayed 10 toes down. But guess what, Dame? Staying 10 toes down ain't finna get you that ass. You finna be stuck in Portland for the rest of your career, labeled as a loser, because these fans that's rah-rahing you on right now, Damian Lillard, for staying 10 toes down, ain't finna put you in the top 15, top 20 all time, simply because you ain't win nothing. So nobody cares how loyal you are to your fan base if you're not bringing anything to the table. Oh, Dame made it to the playoffs after losing 4 of the 5 starters on his starting 5. That's cute, but what did you win? Nothing. LeBron joined a super team and teamed up with Anthony Davis. He won. He teamed up with the best power forward in the game in Kevin Love and a young superstar in Kyrie Irving. What did he do? He won. He teamed up with a top 5 player at the time in Dwayne Wade and a top 3 power forward in Chris Bosh. What did he do? He won. He chose greatness over loyalty. Why is having a good team frowned upon? That's a great question. I think the fan base frowns upon it more so about how you obtain that good team, because I think that plays a lot into it. If the good team is organically built like the Golden State Warriors, right, and how they won this year, great team, organically built, or if it's organic like OKC back in the early 2010s where they had a Kevin Durant, they had a Russell Westbrook, they had a James Harden and a Jeff Green and a Serge Ibaka, but that was organically built through the draft the traditional way. It's only okay from the fans' point of view if the organization puts it together. But once players start to put it together, that's when it becomes a problem. I noticed that. If Kevin Durant has his mind made up and says, look, I want to go play with him, and he up and leaves and goes to play with him, fan bases are going to have a problem and start questioning his loyalty. But an organization can trade whoever the hell they want, bring in whoever the hell they want, and build whatever franchise they want to build. Nobody questions it. Nobody says a word. Why? Because they feel like that's the way things are supposed to go. Well, this is a new era. This is a new time. Do you think there's a trade possible to get Dame to the Lakers? Dame doesn't want to leave. So me even discussing Damian Lillard to the Lakers, it sounds nice. And people would appreciate it because they know mentally Dame is a 10 toes down guy. They know he's loyal. So to make the perception look good, it would look better for Dame to get traded against his will, so to speak, instead of him requesting a trade. Right? That's what would look better on paper. Dame request, like, hey, let me request, let me get forced out of here against my will, make it look like it's against my will versus me saying, hey, look, y'all are a poverty franchise. I don't understand the landscape of the direction that y'all are choosing to go into. Let me leave. There's no loyalty in sports, guys. Kyrie to the Lakers. What are we saying about Kyrie Irving if he doesn't have that championship with LeBron James, right? He leaves Boston. Now, let's say he does go back to the Lakers. Is he a homie hopper? Does he need LeBron? Are those the tabloids? Maybe KD should have left for the Warriors in 2017 rather than 2016. Here's the issue with that. Again, us as fans, we don't know what we want. When Kevin Durant went to the Golden State Warriors, he got all the slander in the world. He was called every single name in the book. Every name in the book. Every name in the book was Kevin Durant called. When Kevin Durant went to the Golden State Warriors in 2017, he was called every name in the book, right? Then when he left Golden State, because he was getting called every name in the book, y'all say Kevin Durant's stupid. He shouldn't have left Golden State. Which one is it? Do y'all want Kevin Durant in Golden State or not? I can only imagine what Kevin Durant is going through mentally. And we talking about a guy that cares what people say about him. Kevin Durant ain't just some guy that's just going to read the tabloids and be like, whatever, they talking shit, let's prove them wrong. No. He takes to heart what people say. He responds back to media. He responds back to fans and critics who have things to say about him. He cares. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. But I can tell some of his decisions are based on his perception. What will the perception be of him? Some of his decisions are based on what the perception of him will be to the media, to the fan base, to other organizations, to other players. He believes what people say, and he takes heed to it. That's just what it is. Dame is in a sucking place, just like Bradley Beal. I would love to see them compete at a higher level. Me too. I think they're two all-time great scorers on the offensive end. Bradley Beal's a way better defender than Dame. Dame is probably arguably the worst defender in the league for a superstar. You can legitimately make that case. But all-time great offensively, man. Dame is a walking 27 a night in his prime. You know, and after the injury, we don't know what type of Dame Lillard we're going to get. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dame came right back to rare form, 25 a night. It's just we fall victim to thinking that there's loyalty in sports when there's not. And that's what I want to emphasize to you guys. There is no loyalty in sports. Like, there is no such thing as loyalty in sports. LeBron James doesn't have an obligation to the Los Angeles Lakers when his contract is up. He's not obligated to sign back because that's the right thing to do, because that's what Kobe did, because that's what Dirk did, because that's what Tim Duncan did and Reggie Miller did, right? That's what Jordan did. He's not obligated to do any of those things. There's absolutely no loyalty in sports whatsoever. Like I said about Giannis. Giannis is legitimately one ring away from forcing himself into the top 10. But instead of that, what if Giannis Antetokounmpo went to a super team? What if he teamed up with, instead of Kevin Durant, Giannis goes to Golden State? They trade Jordan Poole, Kuminga, and Draymond Green for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And he teams up with Steph Curry. How many rings you think the Golden State Warriors will win in the next 5 seasons with Giannis? That's a legit question. 3 out of 5. Peaky say they will win 3 out of 5. True Hero say 5. Marvin say 4 out of 5. Now, let's use Marvin's. Westside. Let's use both of their answers. 4 out of the next 5, right? So now we talking Giannis Antetokounmpo with 5 rings, 2 league MVPs, a defensive player of the year. What conversations does that put him in if he were to just make that one move? What conversation does that put him in? Giannis is cheating himself out of greatness by choosing to be loyal. That's what we've gotten to as a fan base. We don't understand that. Think about what I'm telling y'all. He'd be the GOAT, Westside Hoops. Would people complain that he went to go play with Stephen Curry? Would people make that a big deal? Hell yeah, because that would make the game unfair. But 25, 30 years from now, who's going to give a shit? All they going to know 30 years from now was Giannis is a 4-time champion with all of them accolades, all of them all-time numbers, and he's going to retire as a top 3 player of all time with that resume. He's good enough for top 7. He'd be top 5. Easily. That's how close Giannis is to that stature. So now Giannis doesn't do that. Because by Giannis not doing something like that, how many championships realistically over the next 10 years can you see Giannis getting? Chat, let me know. Over the next 10 years, without Giannis going to Golden State and him staying in the current situation that he's in right now, how many championships can you see Giannis winning? Legitimately, realistically speaking. I want to know y'all answers. You got Giannis winning 4 in Milwaukee? The Bucks are deep. 1, maybe 2. I don't even see the Bucks winning 2. To be honest with you, unless they get another superstar, which I don't think any superstars coming to Milwaukee, I don't think Giannis gets another ring. I think he has a Dirk-like career. He got his one opportunity. He seized it, and I think that's it for Milwaukee. honestly, because it's a lot of firepower coming back. I don't see Milwaukee winning anytime soon unless they get a big piece to that puzzle added to that franchise. That's just keeping it a whole buck. So Giannis, let's say Giannis retires with one championship, the one he got a few years ago. We're being cheated out of greatness because he didn't prioritize that over loyalty. That's my whole point. 0. Bulls are taking over, says Peak. 3 if he gets the right moves made. I believe that. That's what I'm saying. If Dame went to Milwaukee, that's sneaky. West Side Hoops, that's very sneaky. I like that. They need something like that. I like that. But like I say, Damian Lillard is 10 toes down. He ain't going nowhere. OG is 10 years of domination, max 2. Max 2. I say max 1 if they get sneaky, people get hurt. Milwaukee has a great team, but I don't think they have what it takes. A lot had to go right for them to get that 1 that they got. So unless you banking on that to happen again, I can't call it, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm just keeping it a buck when it comes to Giannis. But to switch gears a little bit, a lot of people was asking me about my GOAT debate and who I got as number 1, who I got as number 2. We discussed my top 10 a few weeks back, and I went over it, and I dropped a sequence of videos on Instagram and TikTok basically explaining why I have people the way I have them. Dub, appreciate the 7-month gift sub, 7-month streak. Appreciate that, man. Resubscribe, tier 1, appreciate that. But people, I posted a series of videos explaining why I have people where I have them at in my top 10 all time. I dropped a video for LeBron James, and a lot of people started to talk about Mike, so I think it's time for me to start talking about Mike. And I want to explain to you guys why I feel like Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time, but it's reasoning that people really don't talk about, people really don't discuss. And let me tell you something about this GOAT debate. Everybody has their reasons for why they have who they have at number 1. I got no issues with that, whatever the case may be. If you're a LeBron guy, if you're a Jordan guy, if you anything outside of that, you have a problem and you need medical attention. But it should be consensus LeBron Mike. That should be consensus. But I don't think people can Kawhi be top 10 all time. He has to get some career numbers. He's got to get some totals. For Kawhi to be top 10 all time, he's got to get some totals. Question OG. I believe MJ is the GOAT, but what will it take for LeBron to be the GOAT? When you talking about the GOAT debate, man, you have to split hairs. Everything matters. Everything counts. I can't sit here and say this guy or that guy is the GOAT, but we're going to disqualify this aspect of his game or that aspect. Everything matters. You got to pull tooth and nail. You got to pull every feather out of the duck. You got to pull every feather out of the bird. So I haven't slammed the door closed on LeBron becoming the GOAT yet, but it's not a coincidence that he has to do so much, even though people feel like he's already the GOAT. He has to do so much just to get on that level of Mike to be like, okay, now consensusly LeBron is the greatest player to ever walk the planet. But when we talking about a Michael Jordan, we talking about a guy that's a 6-time champion, 6-time finals MVPs. League history, he's the best at that. We talking about a 5-time MVP, right? A guy that's responsible for arguably the greatest season of all time in the 87-88 season, where he won every award possible, scoring title, league MVP, all-star game MVP, defensive player of the year. Michael Jordan is one of 3 players all time to accomplish 200 steals and 100 blocks in a single season. Only 3 guys have done that. Jordan, Pippen, and Hakeem Olajuwon. That's impressive for a center to pull that off. But Jordan is the only player to do it twice, right? Showing his versatility on both sides of the floor is one of the big reasons why I have Jordan at number 1, why I think he's the GOAT. Jordan is the greatest perimeter defender of all time. And not only do the numbers support that, But his accolades support that as well with the Defensive Player of the Year award he got in 87. Michael Jordan is the only superstar in league history that you can look to and say he never had a bad playoff series. Never in his career. Jordan has never disappointed you as a fan. Jordan has always rose to the occasion. We can't say that about a lot of guys. You got Tragic Johnson. You got the whole 8 points for Larry Bird. You got the whole, multiple things for multiple different players. Shaq in the NBA Finals in 2005 had a bad series. You've gotten all-time greats that's had bad seasons. Never for Mike. We talking about a guy in Jordan whose career averages are 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists a night. And it gets better in the playoffs where he averages 33, 6, and 5. And in the NBA Finals, he's averaging 33, 6, and 6 on 48 from the field, 36 from 3, and 80 from the free throw line. People always talk about, Jordan had the blunders, right? Jordan's blunders are when he went 1-9. 1-9. Scotty, what about the 1-9? Right? 1-9 without Scotty his first 3 seasons. That's one thing people like to drag under the mud when it comes to Jordan. But I just told you he's never had a bad series. In that series against Milwaukee, he averaged 29 and 8 with 3 steals off great efficiency. The second year of that 1-9 record, right? He played Boston twice for the next 2 seasons. So those 3 seasons, he played Milwaukee, who was the best defense in the league, led by Sidney Moncrief, Defensive Player of the Year. His second season, he played Larry Bird. His third season, he played Larry Bird. His first season against Bird, he broke his foot. Came back, he averaged 43, 6, and 5 on great efficiency splits. Then in his third season, we talking about his junior year in the league, against Boston again, he got swept, but he went out the door averaging 35, 6, and 7. Jordan never disappointed you on a man-to-man, single individual player standpoint. Yeah, he lost. His team wasn't good enough to compete. We get that. His team wasn't good enough to compete. But when he got serviceable talent around him, yeah, that's when the winning started. 1-9 without Scotty, there it is. 29, 8 and 5, 43, 6 and 5, 35, 7 and 6. I don't care what you say, but LeBron, 2011 happened, bro. As much as we don't want to talk about it, as much as we try to sweep it underneath the rug, 2011 did happen, man. He did have an abysmal series on the biggest stage. That happened. 2007 did happen, where he got swept by the Spurs. And not only did he get swept by the Spurs, now if he'd have got swept by the Spurs and had a Michael Jordan type series, virtuoso, when Jordan got swept by Boston, he gave him 45, 6, and 5 on the way out. Now you tell me LeBron did that against Timmy? Whoo, I can't. You just ain't have enough around you, bro. But LeBron gave you 22, 6, and 5 on 30-something% from the field. Terrible shooting splits. Shot like 28% from 3. Terrible. 22 points? So when you ask me, what does LeBron have to do to be the greatest of all time? It's tough because you almost got to be perfect. And I don't know if LeBron could go back in time to redo 2011 or redo 2007. Like, yeah, he got that team to the finals, but he played like poo-poo in the finals. And his first 2 NBA Finals appearances were poo-poo, vomit. Go look at his averages and go look at what LeBron did in 2007 as a baby. Go look at what Jordan did in 84 as a baby against arguably one of the greatest, a top 5, top 3 team of all time. That 86 Boston Celtics team had 5 Hall of Famers on it. Go look at what Jordan did against those 5 Hall of Famers. Go look. Jordan didn't average 22, 6, and 5 on terrible shooting splits. He came out and gave them boys 45 on the way out. Yeah, you got me, but you only got me because your team is better. But ain't none of y'all out here on this floor messing with me, and I'm going to let y'all know that tonight. Jordan had a perfect season. He accomplished all of that. 6-time champion, 6-time finals MVP, defensive player of the year, 5-time MVP, 32,000 points, 6,000 rebounds, 5,000 assists, 30-point per game average. That's the highest all time. 3rd highest steals per game average. All of these numbers he accomplished, not only totals, but accolades as well. He did it all in 13 and a half seasons. And I'm lucky I'm giving you a half a season because he only played 16 games when he came back from that broken foot and 13 games when he came out of retirement. And then they say that's his biggest blunder, coming out of retirement, losing to the Magic in the playoffs. Yeah, that's probably his biggest blunder. Jordan averaged 31, 7, and 6 in that series. You see the trend here? That's why he's my GOAT. It's going to be hard for LeBron to top that, man. Jordan never disappointed. Jordan never strayed away from the competition. Shit got thick. Jordan stayed with it. Luckily, we got Scotty, and that propelled us to the level of expectation and the level of talent that we needed to get to the next level. Scotty was a guy that was going to give you 18 to 20 points per game, 5 to 6 assists a night, 6 to 7 rebounds a night, and that's cool. You give us 18, 7 to 6, we going to win. We don't need somebody who's going to average 30 with Jordan. We don't need that. Just give me somebody who's going to play defense, help facilitate this offense, and Jordan's going to take care of the rest. I don't need no Kevin Love, Kyrie. I don't need all of that. We don't need all of that. Just give me Scotty, man. Just give me Scotty. That's it. Scotty wasn't no Anthony Davis. Hell nah. Scotty ain't no Kyrie. Hell nah. Scotty ain't no D Wade. We don't need all of that. Just give me Scotty. That's it. Like, imagine if this man would have called up Sir Charles, who's the best power forward in the game, next to Karl Malone at the time. Imagine Jordan call up Sir Charles and say, hey, Charles, I know you over there averaging 27 and 13, but skip all that. Come hoop with me. That's what Bron did. He called up Kevin Love and said, hey, I know you over there averaging 26 and 13, but come hoop with me. You're going to be averaging 18 and 11, but I need that. Scotty was a beast, no doubt. Scotty was a beast according to what we needed. If Scotty was that much of a beast, he's had multiple opportunities to be better than what he was. Think about it. What was Scotty's prime? Because people like to make it seem like as soon as Scotty walked through the door, Mike started winning. No, that's not the case. Scotty had to develop. Scotty didn't become an all-star until 91, right? So let's say Scotty prime was from 91 to 97. That's a 6-7 year prime. That was very short-lived because he was boo-boo in 98. Jordan carried us to a championship in 98. 99, Scotty left, went to Houston. Then he went to, Portland and all that shit. He was garbage over there. Scotty was garbage over there. So really, Scotty's prime was only, 5-6 years long? He was solid. At his best, he was 22 and 6, 22 and 7. Solid. But we not finna act like that's Kyrie. Bron was dropping 40 against Golden State. But guess who was right behind his ass with 40 or 35? Kyrie. Pippen wasn't that for Mike. The most Pippen ever averaged in the finals was 20 points. That's cute. We like that. We need that. Cool. Pippen's job was to facilitate the offense and play defense. That's it. We're not finna act like he was Anthony Davis out here. We not. In 2020, Anthony Davis led the Los Angeles Lakers in 4 out of the 5 major statistical categories in the regular season. It's not happening. Like, Come on, bro. We not finna sit here and act like Scottie Pippen was Dwayne Wade. He wasn't. Would you take a at your best Kevin Love or a at your best Scottie Pippen? Give me Kevin Love in Minnesota. I'll take it. People say, oh, well, Scottie was this and that when Jordan left. We lost, we was this away from going to the final. No, we wasn't. We got our asses beat by the New York Knicks in the semifinals. Everybody makes it seem like it was the Eastern Conference Finals, but it wasn't. It was the semis. We lost in the semis. We can only get so far without Jordan. And what did we lose? We only lost Jordan. We didn't lose nobody else. So the foundation of the team was still there. The game plan of the team was still there. The head coach was still there. Everybody was still there. It's no coincidence. If Scottie was that dude, he would have took that game-winning shot and not Tony Kukoc. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go YouTube it. Tony Kukoc game winner over instead of Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen pouted on the bench because the coach called the play for Kukoc. Do you think in any right mind, if the game is on the line, Jordan ain't taking that last shot? Unless Jordan defers to somebody else? Come on, man. Scottie was nice for what we needed, but we not finna act like he's Anthony Davis or he's Dwayne Wade. He's not Kyrie Irving or Kevin Love. We not about to act like that's the type of help Jordan had. That's what I mean when I say we overrate Jordan's teammates to try to level out the playing field for LeBron. Everything needs to be discussed when discussing this Jordan debate, this Jordan LeBron debate. Everything needs to be discussed. Point blank. Let me read some of this shit y'all been talking about. LeBron has the narratives on his side over Jordan. LeBron let other people win in his era while Jordan didn't. When Jordan caught stride, it was over with for the rest of the league. Hakeem got his 2 rings when Jordan retired. Got his 1, got his 2, got up out of there. Like, a lot of all-time greats didn't get rings on his watch. Once he hit his stride in the 90s, it was over with. LeBron let other people win in his era while Jordan didn't. Jordan has the most all-defensive first-team selections, him and Kobe. Yo, OG Diesel, what's popping, man? I believe LeBron is the greatest due to longevity, but MJ is the best of all time. Do you agree with this take? I mean, when you distinguishing the greatest from the best, it's circumstantial to me, to be honest with you. I think when you're talking about LeBron versus Jordan, all of that needs to come into one category because now we're talking about the greatest of all time, right? So being the better basketball player and being the more accomplished basketball player have to be one thing when talking about the GOAT debate because we're trying to find one guy to place here. We're not trying to split it in half. You trying to split it in half with that. I don't want to split it in half because in order to be the best or the greatest ever, you have to be number one at both of those. I just gave you LeBron's or Jordan's accolades and shit that he accomplished in 13 seasons, bro. Like, Curry's in his 14th season. LeBron's in his 20th season, and we're still wondering whether he can catch Mike for GOAT status. Think about what I just said. That should tell you everything. How long is it going to take? If LeBron James is not consensusly the GOAT right now, if we did a poll amongst 100 men and women, who's the greatest basketball player of all time, I guarantee you 75% would tell you Jordan right now. Jordan did what he did in 13 and a half seasons. LeBron is going into his 20th, and we're still asking, can he catch somebody? I still think LeBron will get 6 rings. He's going to have to do a whole hell of a lot of recruiting, a whole hell of a lot of ring chasing, and a whole hell of a lot of stripping organizations of all their assets in order to make that happen. It's crazy to think Curry went to the finals 6 of 13 seasons and Brown went to the finals 10 of 20. Yeah. It's just crazy. Damn OG, you right. You ain't lying. That's why you one of my favorite. That's why you are my favorite sports talkers. Appreciate that, man. I just try to enlighten you guys on things from a different aspect and point of view that you may not be thinking about. Now, LeBron is a hell of a player, and he's accomplished a whole heap of a lot of shit in this league. But let's be honest, man. We got to be honest. When we're comparing him to Jordan, everything matters. He's going into his 20th season, and we're asking the question, what does he have to do to catch somebody that only played 13 seasons? You know why LeBron has to do so much? Because he's got a lot of blemishes on his resume. You would think after 20 years he's done enough. No. Jordan had a perfect career. Perfect. Yeah, those Wizards years were not all that, but he's still the only player in league history to average 20 at the age of 40. No, he didn't make the playoffs, but he didn't have the talent to make the playoffs. Nobody expected Michael Jordan and the Wizards to do anything. What do you do when you have expectation? Do you rise to the occasion or do you falter? We can tell you when Jordan had expectations, he delivered every single time. When LeBron had expectations, did he deliver every single time? No. We expected LeBron to win in 2011 against Dallas. He lost. I'm sorry, but it happened. I'm not even going to hold him missing the playoffs in 2019 against him. I'm not. But let's be honest. When rubber needed to meet the road, and LeBron is an all-time great playoff performer, but he's had bad series. He's had bad stretches. He's had bad series. We can't say that for Mike. Mike has never had a bad series, ever. Mike's worst series was against Magic in 95, coming out of retirement. He averaged 31, 6, and 5 in that series. So, I mean, I don't know what else you want. I really don't. Got swept twice, LeBron? Yeah, he did. So who better all time, Scottie Pippen or Pau Gasol? Better player? That's tough, man. I would take Scottie. I would take Scottie over Pau. You know, not only does he have the accolades, but I think Scottie was a better player than Pau. I do. Pau was given Kobe 18 and 11 as a second option. That's a damn good question, Westside Hoops. Or Curry got as many chips as LeBron without having to do too much. But I wouldn't place too much value in that. Considering LeBron has all 4 of the finals MVPs without a shadow of a doubt. And that's what puts him where I got him ranked all time at second. Jordan and Curry delivered while LeBron hits tweaks here and there. Yeah. Even Curry has blemishes on his resume too. But when you talking all time, number one, like we trying to put LeBron number one, we gotta talk about everything. Everything has to be sifted through with a fine-tooth comb if you want to talk about number one. Now you want to that's why Kareem ain't in the GOAT consideration. He's got a lot of blemishes on his resume too. Scottie Pippen, the top 30 player all time. I mean, you want to show me your list? I'll look at it. Hey, OG, where do you rank Kevin Garnett all time? That's tough. I don't really have a ranking outside of my top 15. KG's a top 25 player, though. I would put him top 25. Pau Gasol's problem is competition at his position. Yeah, it was only him buying him Dwight Howard at that time. Really wasn't no competition at the center power forward position at that time. Tim Duncan, he was getting older. But just a heads up, I might take Pau. Spicy, and you know I like spicy. LeBron got swept twice, which I believe will hurt him in the GOAT conversation. Yeah, I mean, Jordan got swept twice. You know what I mean? But it just Jordan and LeBron's happened on different platforms. Jordan was in the first round. LeBron was in the NBA Finals. So it's like, what do you value? Would you take that into consideration knowing that both of these guys got swept? I mean, I don't know. So it's basically how you feel about it. How Stephen A. put LeBron should have got you one against them Warriors. Yeah. Diesel, how you feeling, man? I'm feeling good, man. I'm just chilling, man, trying to chop it up with y'all for a little bit before I head to the gym. Did D-Wade have a top 5 finals performance? 2006 was up there. It's definitely up there. And what's your top 5 finals performances? That's something to discuss that I can maybe talk about on the show. You know, I sit down and think about it. Shaq in 2000, off the top of my head, was a hell of a finals performance. He averaged 38 and 17 on 56% shooting from the field. Jordan in 93 against Phoenix, where he averaged like 45. Shit, man, it's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. Stephen Curry, what he did. Like, Stephen Curry had an amazing finals, 32, 6 and 5. Great shooting splits. Like, Westside Hoops, 1 LeBron / Jordan. Nah, don't LeBron / Jordan, man. Give me who's 1 and 2. Kareem, 4, you got Wilt. 5, you got Magic. 6, you got Russell. 7, you got Shaq. 8, you got Curry. 9, Hakeem. 10 is Shaq. 11 is Oscar. 12 is Kobe. Wow, you got Kobe low, man. You got Kobe real low. Kobe's accomplished a whole lot of shit in his career, man, to have him at 12, man, behind Oscar. Why do you have Kobe behind Oscar? Like, why? Why is Kobe behind Oscar? Why is Kobe that list is all mumbo jumbo, man. We might need to discuss it. I might need to put you on this podcast right next to me, man, and we might need to talk about it. We talk about this a lot in football, but could Duncan have been a product of his surroundings and system? Yes, he was a big product of his system. That's why I have him at 10. Duncan was a great player, yes, but he didn't have to be all-time great all the time. Kobe had to be all-time great all the time. Mike, LeBron, they had to be all-time great all the time. Think about this. Tim Duncan is the only superstar in NBA history to be outplayed in the finals by somebody that's not a top 75 player. Let that sink in. In the middle of his prime. People hate when I talk negative about Tim Duncan, but all I'm doing is providing you with facts. These are the reasons why I have him at 10. Some people got him in a top 5, or some people got him at 7 or 6. I don't have him at that high because he has a lot of blemishes on his resume as well. Yes, he's a 5-time champion, but when you let Tony Parker against the woeful Cavs outplay you, Tony Parker gave you 25, 5 and 5 in that series. Tim Duncan gave you 18 and 10. On what planet can LeBron James give you 18 and 10 and win a championship? On what planet can Michael Jordan give you 18 and 10 and win a chip? Or Curry give you 18 and 10 and win a chip? On what planet can Shaq give you 18 and 10 and win a chip? That's just something to consider. Like, a lot of great players didn't have that luxury. They had to be dogs in order to win. And Tim Duncan didn't have to be a dog all the time. Well, look at his last 10 years of his career. Tell me his regular season numbers. 18 and 8, 19 and 9. I mean, it's just what it is. Shaq won a chip on 2010 and 2006. Yes, it's a rare exception. But the difference is Shaq was on the back end of his career. He was finished dominating. This was 2007. In the middle of Tim Duncan's prime. You tell me Shaq gave you 19 and 10 in 2002? You got me. Shaq was done. 2005, Shaq was at the end of his prime. 2007, bro. This is Timmy's, what, 8th year in the league? 9th year in the league? And he gave you 18 and 10 and got outplayed by Tony Parker, who's not a top 75 player. He's the only superstar in league history that's happened to. Name me somebody else that got outplayed on the biggest stage by somebody that ain't in the top 75. You can't. We could sit here all night. Didn't Kobe get outplayed by Rip Hamilton? What? Bro, I'm talking about on your team. Name somebody, a superstar, that was in their prime and got outplayed by somebody else on their team that's not a top 75 player all time. JJ was on the other team. LeBron got outplayed by D Wade, but D Wade's a top 75 player. This is all I'm saying about Tim Duncan. You in your 9th season, and you let Tony Parker put up 25, 5, and 5 against the woeful Cavs, and you sit back and put up 18 and 10 and be like, cool. Bro, Duncan was like in his 9th year. What are we saying about Jordan in his 9th season? LeBron in his 9th season? Like, what? Isaiah Thomas getting outplayed by Joe Dumars. Show me the Carfax. And I think Joe Dumars is not a top 75 player. Show me the Carfax. Can you say the same thing for Shaq in Miami Heat series in 2006? Dwayne Wade is a top 75 player, and Shaq was not in his prime. These things have to matter. This is how bad it is. Tim Duncan was in his prime, and he got outplayed by a guy on his team that was not a top 75 player. And he was able to still win. He won a ring. Like, it's not like he got outplayed and they lost, like LeBron and D Wade. D Wade outplayed LeBron, even though D Wade's a top 75 player, but they lost. This man got outplayed by somebody who didn't even make the top 75 list. How do you let that happen? I'm not saying Tim Duncan. If you got Tim Duncan in your top 5, you damn right he's overrated. If you got Tim Duncan on your back half of your top 10, I'm cool with that. 7, 8, 9, 10, I'm cool with that. Whatever. But anybody talking about, Tim Duncan's number 4 all time? No. If you got Tim Duncan over Shaq, no. He was extremely boring. Not only that, but that's not even part of my argument for why I got him at 10. He's still a top 10 player of all time because you can't deny what he accomplished in his league. I don't care who you are and what you do. You can't deny what Tim Duncan accomplished in his league. But when you comparing him against those 9 guys I got in front of him, we got to have this conversation. I got to do it to Timmy. I'm sorry. I'm looking right now to see if Joe Dumars was a top 75 player because you own to something. I'm finna fact check that right now. I need to know. I'm on a need to know basis with that. I'm definitely on a need to know basis because if that's the case, that needs to be talked about. That's definitely one that needs to be talked about. But in the NBA Finals, which series? Did they win? He won the Finals MVP? Let me see. This one right here. Let's look at it. I'm on a need to know basis. Joe Dumars averaged 27 and 6. Isaiah averaged 21 and 7. Joe Dumars shot 57% from the field, 86% from the free throw, and did not attempt a three at all. Joe Dumars was a dog, boy. You know, Michael Jordan said his toughest defensive matchup was Joe Dumars. He hated when he had to go up against Joe. Microwave even gave you 17. Joe Dumars, man, that's a statement. That's you just put me on. I know Joe Dumars got that Finals MVP, but I didn't know he did that right there. But we ain't got Isaiah Thomas in the top 10 all time anyway. So, you know, we ain't got Isaiah Thomas in that top 10. But for Tim Duncan to let some shit like that happen to him, insane. But yeah, let me get on up out of here, man. This was a great show. I had a great time talking to y'all, man. W's in the chat if you enjoyed yourself. Shout out to all the loyals, man. Look, if y'all not following me or subscribe to the channel on YouTube, please go drop a sub, man. Go drop a follow on TikTok. Go drop a follow on all of my platforms, man. Run my Instagram up too, man. We trying to get to 10K over there. I appreciate every single one of y'all, man. All my loyals, all my day ones, everybody who appreciates and loves OG the Beast, man. I got nothing but love for you. W's in the chat if you enjoyed yourself, man. Until next time, we going to start talking this football shit too, man. So all my football fans, be ready. Be ready. All my football fans, be ready, because we coming with that hot fire, that die line, man. But if you think I'm speaking that nonsense, holler me down in them comments. Y'all already know how I'm getting down, man. Football, let's get it. It's coming real soon. Hate it real soon. You know what I'm saying? I love every single one of y'all, man. Peace and love. OG out. What's up, y'all? OG the Beast here, and I appreciate you tapping into the Sports Behavior Podcast. If you made it this far, I greatly appreciate you. But if you want to stay connected with me, go ahead and drop me a follow on each and every one of these socials. That's how you stay locked in, man. I appreciate y'all stopping in. We talk football. We talk basketball here. And once again, you are greatly appreciated for stopping by. OG out.